dude, that's real. I played soccer my whole life, and I never wore sunscreen. I'm like, I don't need it. And now I'm like, oh shoot, why did I wear sunscreen?
All right, guys. Hi, I'm Amanda, and this is Beth, and we are with Bone&Marrow.market, and we are hosting Enneagram Conversations. This month's topic is going to be Confrontation, Enneagram and Confrontation with Andrea, and we're super excited to introduce her to you today. Andrea is an educator, a certified Enneagram coach, an encourager, an office supplies lover, which I love because I love office supplies too. And she's based out of Denver area. And faith is the driving force behind her passion and purpose for helping create environments where every person is seen, valued, and heard. She has a focus on leadership development and team building, which is awesome. Super excited to unpack that a little bit more here today. Andrea teaches the Enneagram in group settings as a tool for improving cooperation, communication, and compassion. And so we're excited to introduce her to you today and let her just share a little bit about who she is and before we start our Enneagram Conversation series. So, Andrea, why don't you just tell us a little bit about who you are first?
Yeah, great. Hello, it's nice to be here and see y'all. Other than what you said, I call myself a hybrid of the West and the South. I was born in Colorado, grew up in Alabama, and I'm back in Colorado. So kind of a mixture of both of those. I think when I say I'm an educator, that's both by trade, both my bachelor's and master's is in education, but really by heart, I've always been a teacher, and I just have a desire, really, like you said, just for everyone to be seen, valued, and heard, no matter where they are. We all have gifts and strengths, and we're all leaders, whether that's by position or title, or just the influence that we have over others. So. And I do love office supplies, mainly Sharpies and Post-its.
I love that so much. I loved like the beginning of school years and being able to like line up all your new school supplies and your fresh notebooks and stuff. So I'm with you on that. Tell us a little bit about your Enneagram origin story. How did you get connected with the Enneagram and started in what you're doing now?
So I was working at a nonprofit and was in leadership and really felt the disconnect between my leadership style and maybe the typical leadership styles that we see in more corporate America. And so as I started leading a team and started hiring people, I realized we really need all of these gifts coming together, working together, and that's how you form strong teams. We can't have all, this type of person with these skills, but we need, just like the body, we need all the parts working together. And I heard about the Enneagram probably 6 years ago or so, I guess, and started just kind of dabbling into it. I took a test and made the mistake that I hear and see so often where so my top numbers were 2, 9, and 4. So I thought I was a 2 with a wing of 9 and a wing of 4. But as I started digging in, I realized I just started recognizing my unhealthy patterns that I had and not being able to say no, feeling like no is such a bad word. And also just learning to set healthy boundaries, both professionally and personally, and what that meant to me and how I really needed to set those boundaries in order to be a healthier version of me. So I left my nonprofit job and then decided this is what I want to do. And I got certified last year to actually teach it. More so just so that I have the foundation and information really to be able to lead and guide others in exploring the Enneagram. So that's just a little bit of it. It's been such a helpful tool for me And so I feel like when things are helpful for us, well, for me, I just want to share it with people, and I want them to hopefully gain some insights about themselves as well.
Yeah. Oh gosh, you're speaking my language. I could talk about this all day. I'm so excited. I'm excited to talk about Enneagram and confrontation. Like I feel like that applies to everyone on some level of just like how to communicate better, just be in relationship with others, the boundary setting, those types of things are such good tools to learn and just to have in your arsenal. Okay, so because we want to get to know you, we're going to talk about all the greatness in our actual conversation in a few weeks, but what does a typical day in the life of Andrea look like? Maybe before COVID, or not. I don't know. I feel like that's
COVID might be the new normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I love to write and have been writing on my website for several years now, and have written for different publications online as well. So that's something that I'm doing most days, writing, whether I actually publish anything or not. Writing is such an important part of me. And I'm also right now helping a nonprofit rewrite and edit, revise all of that, some curricula that they have surrounding conservation and wildlife. So I'm learning a lot about bears and sheep, and it's kind of going back to my roots as an educator and revamping that, and also just trying to create content for Instagram and really just help people on their journey with the Enneagram. So it looks very different from day to day. Really, one of the main differences before COVID and now is that I'm not able to go work at coffee shops or at the kind of community work places that are in Denver, just kind of confined to home. So I'm really ready just to have the coffee shop noise. I actually downloaded an app just to have some of the noise, the people noise.
That's a great idea. Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
I'm so in the middle. I've taken Myers-Briggs a couple times, and I got extrovert one time and introvert one time, and had a psychologist who actually worked with us at the last place I worked, and he explained it to me that I'm so in the middle. I kind of bounce back and forth, and I know some people call that an ambivert now. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just know I love to be around people, but I also really need that time by myself. So kind of jump back and forth.
I love that. I have never thought about downloading like noises, like coffee shop noises, but I'm going to do that as soon as that's genius. I feel like that would help me so much. Okay. So if you had to give people one reason to tune in to your conversation, like what is one reason that they should listen in, what would it be?
Well, I think conflict, for the most part, most of us don't enjoy conflict. And I know it's something really hard for me, especially when it comes to the confrontation side of conflict. But I think in order for us to have healthy relationships, we have to be able to not only acknowledge, but work through conflict in healthy ways. And really, I think one of the biggest takeaways I want people to walk away with is how to be a safe person in conflict and confrontation. And once we can do that and kind of have a healthy view of conflict, I think it will help all of our relationships, from friendships to marriages to professional relationships as well.
That's amazing. So that kind of answers my last question. I was going to ask, like, who is this conversation for? And in my mind, it's for everybody, but is there a certain person or type or age or, male, female, is there anything like that? Or is it like, no, this really can?
I really hope it's for everyone. I mean, obviously my bent right now, or where I focus, is really on leadership and team. But, I think, man, who wouldn't want to have healthier relationships in all aspects? Even parents and children, we're in relationship with so many different types of relationships. And I think, gosh, if we can help them be healthier, why wouldn't we?
That's good.
I love that. I want all of my teams at work. I'm like, everyone tune in, because it's like my thing. Oh, well, that is awesome. Awesome.
I do think I'm curious, when we talk about conflict and confrontation, there might be this, and I don't want to get too much into what you're going to talk about, but I do think there is this thought process that if we can avoid it, or if it doesn't exist, that is the ideal, right? And I would love to know what you think about that, because there is this flip argument that would say conflict is actually healthy. And so I would just love to know the answer to that. I'm asking the questions before we get into the actual conversation.
For me personally, I'm an avoider. If I can avoid an uncomfortable situation, and I think so. As a 2, I want to help. I want to be seen as a nice person, as someone who is just always kind and there to support. And so I think I've had just such an unhealthy view of conflict, thinking that's bad. Conflict is bad, and I don't do bad things. Like I'm the one who helps smooth things out, who makes things right. But the thing is, we're imperfect people. And so conflict is going to arise, whether anyone did anything quote unquote wrong or not. We're going to disagree. We're going to view a problem differently. We're not going to appreciate the way someone used a tone with us or something like that. And I do think it's really healthy for us to view conflict as neutral, as something that just happens. It's going to occur, because if we act like it's something bad, then we do try to avoid it or just brush it under the rug, and then usually it will come out in an even more aggressive way than we would ever have intended it to do, or it can even sever relationships if we don't take care of it. Because a lot of times we can do things and not even realize how someone else took it, or vice versa. I can tell someone, that really hurt my feelings. I tend to be more sensitive than some people. And just by addressing that, then the person can say, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. That is not how I meant it. Next time I can try, phrasing it this way or doing it this way. So I think it's really healthy. It's not easy for me. I will say that it's not something that comes easy, but I think once we learn to address it, then we can have healthier communication in relationships.
I love that. That's great. That's great. Well, I think that we would just love to invite everybody to come to our Enneagram conversation this July. We'll be hosting the same conversation 2 times. We'll be hosting it on July 16th at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is a Thursday, and then July 17th, which is a Friday afternoon at 1 p.m. Andrea is going to be our host. She's going to tell us all about how we can, in our types, deal with the conflict and confrontation that is healthy and in a healthy way, right? So we look forward to seeing everybody. We hope that you can join us.